a preseason. Samuelson, a new acquisition in the offseason from the last 3 seasons. During her second season, feeds it inside as Clark catch and shoots. That #1 overall pick back in 20. Good position. Boston ducks in. And a foul. As Melissa Smith and Barbara Turner. Boston and Howard. A tear. Gray cross court. Howard. Gray catch and shoot.
Lisa Gray on the other.
Howard feeds inside. Parker Tyus. Boston.
Period.
Clark on the drive. Gets inside.
Oh, but she made that one look pretty easy. Take shape over the course of the next few.
Camp, it's Gray on a backdoor pass to gel. This whole roster to gel.
Pass and nail it down middle of the paint.
The rookie season. Howard's been an all.
Last season had been playing in China.
More experience.
Proud, but to stay where she had some.
Tyus got married in the offseason.
In addition to Ryan Howard.
Here's Tennington, sets up hole. Goes to work, spins, fires. Did she get it? Clark getting her first minutes here in going a little deeper into their bench. This is an opener. They brought in Crystal Dangerfield for 5 minutes for Tanisha Wright's group.
There, but she is headed to the line.
On to a couple of Howard, step back 3.
One dribble look ahead. They were
aerial powers. Here's Clark, finds some space.
Here's back with the Mystics. They up and take this match.
For Smith, wide open at the foul line. Court pass. And that
Coach Sides loving that.
Get open, and Caitlin Clark will defense there by Hull. Tough look.
Then an N1 here. Looking.
It's been her first 8 years in defending champion. The Las Vegas 8. Meet at the Olympic break, and the Mickey's like Clark, and she weaves her way in. And Clark will find underneath. In fact, Bentley maybe too far underneath, giving chase. Smith to step through. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston.
And with Caitlin Clark and then Deanna.
Mitchell dealing with an ankle. Moment spinning inside. That's what's in here.
Yeah, I mean, last week or so.
Oh, what a fire.
To find herself open.
How her competitive juices have.
She got her hands on the WNBA ball.
At Gainbridge Fieldhouse is Smith difficult.
#1 picks.
Aerial power.
Which they knew she was going to bring, but we've seen with her length.
The real strength. You've got 9-10.
Those aerial powers, Jordan Canada.
Samuelson on the shot fake.
That have high aspirations for
Bentley. Give and go. Fed Bentley. Both all time and score.
Who was just traded from
Wallace gets inside.
At Iowa, she let the country in is what's really going to shine.
Underrated as Charles gets underrated.
Yeah, we'd have to be so impressed with her vision.
As Howard banging down low and Bolt tries to go.
I mean, they have really assembled a nice.
Here is Alicia Gray. Smith goes back to work. Push shot. Preseason game as Howard dials much length, and the Fever having real problems with.
As we saw Ryan Howard take that one.
NBA moment. She had a massive night, and she joined only to me to watch for Caitlin Clark once we start on. Clock down to 6. Corner 3 from right on that cut line. This is such a difficult. Charles turning on Boston.
Oh, this is such an interesting Melissa Smith and Aaliyah Boston.
2022 after leaving Washington.
Certainly love a little bit of a consistency.
Charles step back, tough to 3. Oh, look at the behind the back.
Fall as she's laughing up the court.
Right back onto the floor. She played here. Smith is wide open.
From everywhere on the floor.
You have to shoot the 3 ball better this year.
From the Fever.
23. And she's got a skill.
Who can bring them versatility on both ends.
Especially with Jordan Canada out. That's great. See the attention she's getting on the pie. Berger spins, fades, fires. Parker Tyus charged.
P, and she looks in
2024. Parker Tyus misses on. Bullies her way in. Great battles in 2023. That year pro. Smith. 2 best point guards in the Big Ten the last few years as Jones works her way in. Coffee way off the screen, finds some space, and there's 8 moments here from Gainbridge Fieldhouse or by Atlanta. They're doing a nice job of getting better off balance and gets the bounce. Powers just pull everywhere here in the first half. Taylor wide open and back. 3 ball to fall.
wise.
Spins inside, beautiful hand. Jones pulls up. Shot. Before the shot.
Just, that screams Dawn Stalson, former national.
Shot fakes into the corner. Here's Taylor off the hands of Powers. who can't make this building rise every time she touches the over the head of Samuelson, but Taylor Wright opts for Fagbenle, who runs into a wall.
Probably a transitional time with the court.
Can't hit a three. A look at Fagbenle.
Position, very long, very low.
Taylor, Temi Fagbenle.
He signed later in the season.
Rims out, Taylor the rebound, and the
Final roster. So are they going off, showing her ability to run the
here on the post with Boston. And
that shot, that release point. That one.
And Boston shuffled her to Nalissa Smith. Correa. Second half minutes coming.
Couple of practices, the transition.
Really thin camp roster because of getting used to being ready for those.
Had established a legal guarding place at the line.
And there's Samuel.
To distribute.
Howard finds some. Atlanta with the foresight of knowing they. Right into Boston, who sent rim protectors. And
Smith showing her range. She can get up the floor.
They're pretty simple. She says she, her first couple of years, I'll tell you, she is music to Christy Slark. Gray launches. Clark, oh, pretty pass to Boston. Just can she escape from the corner? Feeds scored pass. She sets up Howard. Clark, step back from the logo. Passing lane and an easy two. Well, fans may be indulging in the double. Clark Samuelson is wide open. And
he was heating up.
Dangerfield back up top, and first there's a whistle before importantly stretch the floor.
9 points. We know she.
Here is Clark, catch and shoot from Berger. Fagbenle wins that one.
There on the logo.
Boston gets it.
Boston at the 5. Those two.
Said it. Aaliyah Boston being.
That's really cool. And I mean, we're
catch. Dangerfield left. Clark spinning, twisting, turning.
To the WNBA, just hawking.
Season with some of the leagues of elite deep. Boston backing her way in. Fine. Powers working off the Hillman screen. Way outside. Huber.
Elevating in her second year with some new pieces.
Oh, the season's work. I mean, here, good position. There's a whistle first. Clark still on the floor. Bounce pass. Double digits before that challenge. 5. Here's Coffey, who launches and hit it. That was knocked away. Good defense by Amihi. Free herself. Gets it to Fagbenle. Extra pass. You retain a second. Be a little hesitant to use it.
In the game.
Coffey.
It's really worked to.
Clark off the screen. She will launch. A new rule. You do that, you get 2 into the hands of Amihi here. Right place, right. Impress Lynn Dunn, impress the coaching staff.
And it's a preseason.
Happens a week from today. Smith working the baseline and around here for the Fever defensively. Out. Smith. Powers over Samuelson. Tough shot. Pretty close to a regular season. Let her starters gel. And Boston bullies inside. A spin.
Let's thing plays out. See.
That defender, by the way, fights. Wallace gets inside, fades and hits. Here in the fourth quarter. Get it to go. Offensive rebound by Campbell. Young players in Chicago.
Oof.
Samuelson finds some space. Anderson, backdoor pass.
Addition here at the helm.
There's Samuelson with a shot clock. Pull one dribble. And another injury she suffered in Washington. Some of that coaches here this year.
Ooh, it's called against Nalissa Smith.
Turns on the drive, little fake. She could really develop into a weapon.
Covers with her strides, whether she's.
Berger on the shot fake, Power sails by.
Season game unscathed.
Besides running pretty regularly, a massive part in that. Underneath, good position. Amihi here.
MVP in her 9th.
Seen Kelsey Mitchell, and Atlanta hasn't either. They haven't had Canada. Their starters on the floor. Boston did hit 4 of them last season, and Atlanta has crawled back to make the WNBA. One of the best shooters all time. Hitting on Berger. Good defense by Berger. Fever get a bucket and a stop. Preseason game. Handoff, Samuelson. Powers, that's a deep 12 from the field. Fake on the drive, gets inside.
Bag of tricks offensively.
20 seconds as Cave driving by. Both coaches working on different things here. Boston, the shot fake.
The 13,000.
Here, back on the attack, slashing, and another.
That certainly brought it.
get it off. Powers will try.
Three-point shot.
Atlanta giving pause that night here for the franchise. Clark very, very good. 12 points. Start the third quarter here.
Up just where she left off, showing her ability to run the...
Charles really battling here on the post with Boston. And she
faced and has that shot, that release point. She was talking to the bench a little bit too after that one.
And Boston shuffled her on the Caitlin Clark assist to Nalissa Smith. We haven't seen Maya Caldwell, Elani Correa, Maria Saxton either. We'll see if they have second half minutes coming.
Players have only been playing with each other for a couple of practices. The transition.
Weaver running a really thin camp roster because of there. There's a learning curve to getting used to being ready for those.
I thought she was had established a legal guarding picking call. And Cheyenne Parker-Tyus at the line.
And how they find success this year. And there's Samuel.
On paper with Clark's ability to distribute.
Howard finds him. If the Fever scheduled this game against Atlanta with the foresight of knowing they...
And Gray on the steal.
Gray into Boston, who set himself as one of the league's elite rim protectors. And
impressive game so far. Nalissa Smith showing her range. With Caitlin Clark because of how quickly she can get up the floor.
And if you ask her about her goals, they're pretty simple. She says that's been a little bit of a problem with her in her first couple of years. I'll tell you, it is music to Christy Steer before bringing in Caitlin Clark.
To catch, they were well defended.
Gray launches. Clark, oh, pretty pass to Boston, just being hounded. Shot clock down to 6. Can she escape from the corner? Beats. Now Gray with space, cross-court pass. She sets up Howard. Clark, step back from the logo. Samuelson into the passing lane and an easy 2. For those Iowa fans, maybe indulging in the double. Clark gets inside, draws a triple team. Samuelson is wide open. And
as to Lou Samuelson, who's heating up.
Dangerfield able to maneuver away around Powers. Back up top, and first there's a whistle before brought into play some defense, but most importantly, stretch the floor.
She also has 8 rebounds, 9 points. We know she'd here tonight.
Here is Clark, catch and shoot from Berger. This has been a really fun battle. In fact, Bentley wins that one.
That's one in college she would have pulled up right there on the logo.
Boston gets it.
Caitlin Clark at the 1, Aaliyah Boston at the 5. Those two.
How Caitlin came out and said it. Aaliyah Boston being that woman right there had a lot to do with this.
That's really cool. And I mean, we're
Dangerfield and Powers playing some catch. Dangerfield left. Clark spinning, twisting, turning.
The defense from the college level to the WNBA, just hawking.
2. Starting the season with some of the league's elite defense. Boston backing her way in. Fine. Powers working off the Hillman screen since that first quarter. Clark way outside.
And is looking to continue elevating in her second year with some new pieces.
Ever lead the league in field goal percentage. Oh, the season's work. I mean, here, good position. There's a whistle first. Second half work for Celeste Taylor. Clark still on the floor. Bounce pass. Lead here. They're threatening to go up double digits before that challenge. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Coffey who launches and hits. Clark looking inside for Smith. That was knocked away. Good defense by Amihi. Zones here tonight. Clark trying to free herself. Gets it to Bentley. Extra pass. You are successful in your first challenge. You retain a second. Coaches in the second or third quarter be a little hesitant to use it.
Protect your best player from a foul late in the game.
Coffey.
Nia Coffey has really worked too last season.
Clark off the screen. She will launch.
And just drain it to begin with.
A new rule. You do that, you get 2 and up. Denied by Taylor, but right into the hands of Ami here. Right place, right. And the last chance to impress Lynn Dunn, impress the coaching staff here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
And it's a preseason.
He will be sold out by the time opening night happens a week from today. Paul.com for those of you in the area. Smith working the baseline. And after that first quarter, it has been a stark turnaround here for the Fever defensively. Taylor for Boston. Kick out. Smith. Powers over Samuelson. Tough shot. Christy Sides really playing this one pretty close to a regular season in the preseason to let her starters gel. And Boston bullies inside, a spin
catch. She didn't have anything initially. She lets things plays out. See move and finish from Aaliyah Boston.
That defender, by the way, training camp invites. Anxious moment for so many players. Wallace gets inside, fades and hits. They're running a lot through Powers here in the fourth quarter. Pulled down that fly ball. Haynes can't get it to go. Offensive rebound by Kate. Got some good competition, including a couple of young players in Chicago.
Tonight, doubled up the Liberty. Oof.
Samuelson finds some space. Henderson, backdoor pass.
Jordan Canada, so she is a nice addition here at the helm.
In league history. There's Samuelson with a shot clock. Pull one dribble. And games with a shoulder injury she suffered in Washington. Nice ovation. She checks out. Some of that K-Sides. Tanisha Wright, the WNBA coaches here this year.
Ooh, figure out how that was called against Melissa Smith. They just trying to face up to the basket.
Clark picked up her dribble, needs some help. These two bodies. Beck Bentley turns on the drive. Little fake. Roster spot, how over the course of time she could really develop into a weapon.
The doubt to me is how much ground she covers with her strides, whether she's
Berger on the shot fake. Powers sails by.
out of this final preseason game unscathed.
Here tonight, Christy Sides running pretty regular British team to win a European title. She a massive part in that. Harder than us. That makes a lot of sense to me. That underneath, good position. Ami here.
Undrafted to an all-star game MVP in her 9th player.
Yeah, we haven't seen Kelsey Mitchell in full strength yet in the preseason. And Atlanta hasn't either. They haven't had Canada. Way back into this one. Fever have their starters on the floor. Boston did hit 4 of them last season. That final 2:51, and Atlanta has crawled back to make. Fever will head to the free throw line. Who's in her 5th year in the WNBA. 2022 season. One of the best shooters all time. Dangerfield driving on Berger. Good defense by Berger. Christy Sides calls a timeout. The Fever get a bucket and a stop of this 40-minute preseason game. Boston, handoff, Samuelson. Powers, that's a deep, has not fallen here tonight, just 2 of 12 from the field. Underneath, Smith on the shot fake, on the drive, gets inside.
But she has shown a deep bag of tricks offensively.
Final 70 seconds as Cave driving. Important to note, this is not Atlanta's starting 5. Both coaches working on different things here. On the fly, that'll be a big storyline early in the year. Boston, the shot fake.
The 13,000.
Ami here, back on the attack, slashing, and another.
Deeper bench this season. Well, these players have certainly brought it.
Watched by Clark. Dangerfield can't get it off. Powers will try. It's
choice, but to hoist up a 3-point shot.
And they do so with Atlanta giving pause. That a massive night here for the franchise. Stole that spotlight. Clark very, very good. 12 points.